Do you have a dream car? Mine is the Lucid Air. Are you intrigued by electric vehicles? The Lucid Air EV has been called the best driving car in the world. And the Lucid Air Sapphire is certifiably the fastest production car in the world. Listen to Lucid Driver Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts or at luciddriver.buzzsprout.com.
Welcome to the Joy of Cruising podcast with your host, award-winning author Paul C. Thornton, a weekly conversation with the amazing cruisers featured in the Joy of Cruising books, comprised of The Joy of Cruising, Cruising Interrupted, new release, The Joy of Cruising Again, as well as other fun, informative global cruise personalities. It's the next best thing to cruising, hearing about cruising from the unique and diverse perspectives of Paul's amazing guests. If you hear about a cruise that interests you, book it at www.thejoyofacation.com or enter to win a free cruise for two. Again, www.thejoyofacation.com. We really appreciate your feedback, so leave us a text. Paul can't reply, but he may read your text on the air.
Hello, passionate cruisers. This is Paul, and this week on the Joy of Cruising podcast, I am delighted to welcome Jeff Cuellar, Chief Executive Officer, Sixthman, which offers music festival experiences at sea. I love all my guests, but Jeff is a particularly coveted one because, as many of you know, I love themed cruises and thinks every regular cruiser should put one on their bucket list. Those of you who have read The Joy of Cruising know I have long been enamored of theme cruises, and in that book, wrote an entire section on theme cruising. I featured a number of examples of theme cruises and tried to include Sixthman, given their importance in theme cruising. It was not to be, but today I am excited and grateful to have a conversation with its CEO. Jeff Cuellar has over 20 years of experience in the entertainment business space, and he offers a unique perspective on the industry, both on land and sea. Jeff assumed the role of CEO of Sixthman in early 2024 and was recently named a Polestar Impact 50 honoree for his combined skills of leadership, entertainment, and cruise line hospitality. Jeff spearheads Sixthman's creativity with events such as the Chefs Making Waves cruise occurring this November, with Food Network chefs Bobby Flay, Scott Conant, Aisha Nerjaja, and more on board. Welcome, Jeff, to the Joy of Cruising podcast.
Excellent. Happy to be here.
So how you doing?
The sun is shining. I got no complaints. Today's a good day.
There you go. Where are you sitting?
I'm currently in Atlanta, Georgia. That is where our home office headquarters is for Sixthman.
Okay. Well, we're not that far apart. I'm podcasting from Virginia.
Virginia. Where in Virginia?
South of Richmond, a place called Amelia Courthouse.
I know where that is.
Yeah, I like on my social media, I always say Richmond, but I'm really I'm not in Richmond.
I say that I grew up in the D.C. area, and then, of course, anybody from D.C. goes Northern Virginia or Southern Maryland, so I'm Northern Virginia.
Okay. Well, I like to tell people I was born in D.C.,
okay,
but I don't add that I only lived there for like 2 months. So
I hear you.
So before we talk about your interesting seafaring life and role leading Sixthman, tell our listeners some basics about yourself, where you're from, where you live, family, anything you are willing to share.
Sure. I kind of say I'm a nomad a little bit. I was a military brat. I was born in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And then we relocated to the DC area, Northern Virginia. I guess you could say I had some formative years there, but then from there bounced around. We went to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. After that, I moved to New London, Connecticut. for a year of school before going back to then going to Knoxville, Tennessee. Spent a year in Madrid, Knoxville, Memphis, Chicago, and then California, Northern California, and then here to Atlanta. I think the most time I spent in one area was Chicago. But that was as an adult. I've got a wonderful wife. We are, I think we're on the precipice of 25 years of marriage. And I've got two beautiful children. My daughter, Simone, who is 8, and my son, Kingston, who is 14.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Talk about, Jeff, your professional life leading up to Sixthman.
Sure. So I've been what's called a promoter for actually all of my career. I stumbled into the music business, doing certain things like most, or I'd say not like most, but at least like me, where I wanted free tickets to shows because going to concerts can get expensive. So I started off street teaming, and putting up posters, handing out flyers just to get tickets to local shows in and around. This was in the Knoxville area. Uh, and then ended up working for a music management company while I was still finishing my education at the University of Tennessee before finishing there. And the company that I worked for, it was 26.2 Music, ended up kind of merging with AC Entertainment, who was an independent promoter. And if you're not familiar with what a promoter is, essentially a promoter is that kind of intermediate intermediate entity that buys shows. So whether we are working directly for or with a venue or have an exclusive relationship with a venue, we're buying shows from agents and managers and then producing those shows inside of a theater, or it could be a park, wherever it may be. And the promoter is the one that is taking the risk to execute the show um, for the public. So AC Entertainment was an independent promoter. Started working for them. AC is also they were the co-founders of the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival, and Ashley Capps. That was kind of his brainchild. So he is AC. And that's when I started with them. So I jumped immediately into the festivals side of things, and then with Bonnaroo being at that point in time the largest camping festival in North America, and I was with them for a little over 20 years before and now some transition happened during that time frame where Live Nation purchased Bonnaroo, the property, which was Great Stage Park. Now we lovingly call it the Farm, as well as, and then ended up purchasing also AC Entertainment. So I was part of all of that transition, made it through the pandemic, executed a few festivals upon coming back from the pandemic, and then was ultimately approached by Sixthman for this amazing opportunity. So I spent the majority of my years learning the concert business, to being a promoter, as well as building large scale festivals. These would be primarily outdoor festivals in various communities throughout the country. I've had a darn good time doing it.
Curious about that first event you promoted after the pandemic or during the pandemic. When was it in terms of when the pandemic had started?
So like most of us in the entertainment world, we kept kicking the can down the road because obviously no one knew when things would start back up again. I was very fortunate that I was able to keep or start other pieces of our business and kind of keep some things rolling. We utilized the farm and created a mini kind of concert series called uh, Concerts on the Farm, where we did social distancing kind of pods. So a family or a group could purchase kind of a little mini section, and we allowed so many people to be in that section and then divided that up because we had so much land, and then utilized the main stage that we had on the farm. So it was outdoors, it was distancing, and we were able to kind of keep that entertainment space going. I think during the same time you also saw people doing drive-in shows and other things along those lines. So to keep that rolling during the pandemic. And then I think our first show back was, if I'm not mistaken, was August of 2021. August, September of 2021. So during that time frame, we ended up executing, well, my team and myself executed 3 events prior to my departure. So we did Railbird, Moon River, and then we would have executed Bonnaroo, but Bonnaroo ended up having we had weather, some significant weather come through that forced us to cancel due to safety.
We'll be right back.
The Joy Vacation by Dream Vacations invites you to join us on a bucket list adventure to Africa. We're going to Kenya and Egypt for 14 days, April 10th through April 24th, 2027. A week in Kenya, including safaris, and a week in Egypt, including the pyramids, and a 4-day Nile River cruise. This adventure includes air from the U.S., all transfers, all accommodations, private tours, and many meals. $5,000 to $5,500, depending on air, per person. Double occupancy. Only $250 per person deposit due at booking. The remainder is not due until late 2026. For a detailed itinerary, online brochure, and to book, email me at pthornton, THORNTON, pthornton @dreamvacations.com. Yeah, it's wonderful to hear that some things you were making you and many others across the country were making some things happen during the pandemic. I'm learning a lot of these things in talking to guests over the years, but I wish I had known about it when the pandemic was happening, because for me it felt like I was literally in jail.
Yeah.
I it felt like a jail sentence.
Yep.
So, tell our listeners, what is Sixthman?
So again, we are a promoter, and what we do is we buy and we produce shows. So when I say buy, it's a little bit different because we focus on festivals. So I look at the ship, and I know we kind of talked, before the starting about themed cruises. I don't look at these as themed cruises because my lens comes differently.
Okay.
I look at the ship as a venue, and it is a venue just like Madison Square Garden or the Farm or someplace else. Every venue's got different amenities, different, pros and cons of why you want to do an event there. And so to me, the ship is a venue. And we take over the ship. We charter the ship, treat it like a normal venue. But what I find beautiful for us and unique is the fact that the ship still has all of the staff and the people. They are able to do their operation. So I have to worry less about, things like trash and sanitation and cleanup and concessions and some of those things that can be a challenge, let's just say, with an outdoor event. All of that stuff is kind of self-contained in a major way, but you can sleep there, and we take you to amazing destinations wherever we may going, around the world. So there are all of these beautiful things kind of tied into it, and then we layer on top I would say that over the top immersive experience.
Mm-hmm.
So our goal is either working with host artists, so an artist that we want to create an immersive experience with, or our own festivals. So, there's a lot that are out there right now, and music is definitely our bread and butter. In terms of, I think it's something that people understand and see more. Most of us now have grown up with music festivals and seeing those. We're still a little bit behind in terms of the Europeans in that sense, but they've become definitely part of the fabric of your live entertainment experience. So take and create these festivals and utilize the ship as our playground. And we have multiple stages, multiple areas. And when we get to work with hosts, it has the ability to tear down those walls and give people a peek behind the curtain and pull the most passionate fans together they're already a community, and give them a place to be. So maybe going to multiple shows throughout the country, you now have a gathering space to where you're going to get the intimacy of a show. I mean, one of the bands that we work with and that has been a great partner is Creed. So we were their first show back after a 12-year hiatus. And I mean, if you think about where they were at their pinnacle in terms of doing stadiums, we were doing it on a Jewel class ship, a Norwegian Jewel class ship. So you're putting 3,000 people on a pool deck. That's a pretty darn intimate show for Creed, and it was extremely successful. And it's why we've continued to work with them throughout. So we tear down those barriers. You get to see different things. You get to see, the members or the artists participate in things like poker tournaments, belly flop contests, and they get to help curate the things that are of interest to them and kind of make them tick. So as super fans, you get to see the things that get them excited about stuff. Now, whether they have, if they're passionate about bourbon or if they love cooking, and then our unique touch points allow us, I think, really to really offer something different that no other event, in my opinion, can offer, just because you're living there. I mean, you're living with everyone for, depending upon the event, 4, 5, 7 nights, while also going kind of on vacation with them. And it's a benefit to the artists because they get to also bring their families. So it's a treat for some of the people who, are part of their tour and a part of their organization, but as well as their families, they get to enjoy and be a part of it as well. And we hear a lot, over and over again from the artists that we work with. And again, when I say artists in this sense, it doesn't have to be music. It can be comedian, it can be performers, podcasts, whatever it may be. It's a different opportunity to really allow them to forge a deeper relationship with their most passionate fans. So that's ultimately what we do. And so we are a subsidiary of Norwegian Cruise Line, and this gives us the ability to work with them in a way and partner with them to really go deeper and to create events that I think are what the public is yearning for right now in terms of physical connection.
So all of your events are on NCF.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a couple of other events that are outside that are some of our legacy events.
Right.
We do offer some other services that are I would say pieces of what we do for our typical events.
Okay. Well, thank you for that overview of Sixthman. We're going to come back to Sixthman and dig deeper.
Sure.
But let me shift gears for a minute and just talk about cruising in general. I always like to ask my guests about their cruising experience, because I suspect we have a fair amount of aspiring cruisers listening, and I want to try to give them a sense of what to expect. So talk about your introduction to cruising as a passenger.
So I took a cruise with my family. I may have been 17, 16, somewhere in that time frame. I couldn't even tell you the name of the ship or what it was. That was my introduction. The only thing I can say I truly really remember about the experience was a forced dinner time, and I believe we had I had to wear a tuxedo one night. Outside of that, I would say it didn't make a negative or positive impression on whatsoever. I remember having a good time. I think it was fun. We had fun, but it was more or less being with family. I had not cruised again until my first event was Sixthman.
Get out!
I did have a small stint where I was in the United States Coast Guard. So I guess you could say I've always been drawn to water and the ocean and the excitement of it. And in fact, sailed as part of I went to the United States Coast Guard Academy for a year, and part of our what we did there, we sailed the clipper ship, the Eagle, which was, I mean, that's technically cruising. I mean, I can tell you, it was not a cruise ship like experience. Like, we were not being catered to, we were working. But outside of that one time where I went with my family, I had not cruised again for another Oh, shoot, that would be 30 years,
Wow.
20, 25, 30 years. It had been a little while. But I can tell you this. So I probably had some misconceptions, and I probably had some, other thoughts of what it would be like. But walking on board, I walked up the gangway, and it was an overwhelming rush of just kind of euphoria and an immediate like, oh, this is it. And you just felt the energy across the board, because I think unlike typical cruising where this is someone's vacation and everyone's definition of what this vacation is going to be is could be different. um but when you're on an event like ours, they're there, it is their vacation, but they're there for the thing that gets them the most excited, that is they are the most passionate about, and they are kind of investing in that, and they know they're with their community. So if this is something that truly gets you excited, then you are going to be surrounded by people that also gets them excited, and it is you can feel it. And that was like the immediate wave of like walking into the terminal, walking up the gangway, walking on that ship. We hadn't even set sail yet. I'm like, oh, this this is something unique, and this is something that I hope that everyone has the ability to experience. And it was inspiring in a way to say, what are the opportunities? Where can we continue to grow this? I want everyone to have the thing that they feel most passionate about and their community to be a part of this, because it's truly something special.
So on that cruise, that first six-man event, I suspect you were probably more focused on your first event as the CEO than you were on the fact that I'm getting on the ocean for the first time in 30 years.
I was not CEO yet.
Oh,
So,
okay, okay.
yeah, so this was me. I came in as VP of I think business development and strategy. For
Oh,
the
okay, okay,
I didn't take over as CEO until December of 2023.
okay.
Um, but yes, my first thought was I need to like I have an extensive background with festivals and experiences, but this is different. Um, the C part for me is a bonus. There is always something. I mean, again, my time in the Coast Guard to just I think a lot of people left for it for a period of time. I wanted to be a marine biologist. So that before kind of tripping and falling into the event and the live event world, that was my path, and I was a rower, so I spent water was always kind of a part of me and the things that I love to do. So
Okay,
that
okay.
was a bonus, and being able to apply my event knowledge and expertise and be able to kind of experience it like that. Yeah, I was a kid in a candy shop. I mean, it was truly something like every corner I took, I just was like, oh, what can we do here? This is fantastic. And just trying to really soak it all in, to understand, how this machine works.
Now, on that first six-man cruise, do you remember who the headliners were?
I do. It was Soulshine, and it was an event that's run Michael Franti.
Okay, okay. So, talk about, Jeff, the history of six-man and your various, well, I call them theme cruises, but you tend to like maybe experiences better. Uh, so talk about, give us a background of six-man and what they do. What are some of the cruises that they host?
Sure. We're celebrating our 25th year this year. The founder of the company, his name is Andy Levine, and if I hopefully I'm giving proper justice to the story. My understanding is he was working with band Sister Hazel, um, and was trying to figure out ways to do something special for that fan base and happened to be on an airplane and happened to be communicating this to the, the person sitting next to him on the flight. And I believe they were either a travel planner or something of that nature, and just mentioned, have you ever thought about chartering a cruise? And I explained to him what it meant to charter a cruise, and what that could be and what they could do. And that's what kicked off the idea. And so he launched with Sister Hazel, launched the Rock Boat, which is our is the event that started it all, and we still are sailing to this day. So this past January, we celebrated 25 years of the Rock Boat. And that's what started it. And I think from there, and having the success of that one, determined like there is something special here. And then he spent, the next several years, building a company, to kind of where we have it today. And he was part of that team that ultimately sold to Norwegian, and then was able to kind of continue, and that gave us some additional, I don't want to call it capital, but opportunity to expand and go after the things. And that's part of the reason why I was brought in, was to look for the future and to look at that expansion of where we're going to be going, and what opportunities we have. Uh, and I would say I was blessed to come into, a company that's just kicking butt across the board. And what I think I loved more than anything else about coming in was the emphasis on guest first and hospitality. So within our business, within the live entertainment business, I don't want to say it's a secondary thought, but it's a challenge because of how you have to flip. I mean, sometimes you get a few hours with somebody, and that can be, a real challenge. So this, I think, kind of spun it on its head a little bit and really focused on the fan side of things, going above and beyond, creating what we call special in every which way that we can. And the marriage of those two in this space is again, it's something that makes it unique. So that's kind of where we're at. And then when we kind of came in, or when I came in, being able to say like, what other opportunities? So I think at that point in time, there had been a little bit of testing the waters with an event like Impractical Jokers or Walker Stalker, and then we have been able to go further into that with other events like we got Bert Kreischer later on this year, comedian. This would be the second time we've done an event with him. We've done Nate Bargatze as a comedian. We have Hallmark again coming up this fall. Kevin Smith, James How Bob's Cruise Askew was an event we had earlier this year. Work with Hedda McMahon, who's a podcaster, and then of course, you've got music too. So from your Creeds to Lamb of God's Headbangers Boat to even some festivals that that there have been land festivals. So Moon River is a festival that was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, that we are taking to the water and putting on the ship. So there's a true variety of what we go after. Our main focus is, where are the passionate communities? Where are the people who are like, this is my thing? And it doesn't necessarily have to be the most popular thing. And a lot of times, I'll be honest, the most popular thing doesn't work. You may be able to sell out a stadium, but you may not be able to sell out a cruise. And that's because I think you're just asking something different of your fans and of your community. And it takes more than just, I'd say, a casual fan that is willing to, drive an hour and come to a stadium show and kind of give up their time this way. Like, they're giving up vacation time. Like, they're giving up a lot to be a part of this and to invest in this. So you need fans that are like, this is my thing. This is what I want to invest in and put my discretionary income towards.
You mentioned Creed. Who are some of the other guests Sixthman has hosted that my listeners might be familiar with?
Oh gosh, there's so many. We have a Broadway cruise, so that we took a small stop on this year, like Darren, Chris, and stuff that's on a Broadway cruise this year. That is it is, think of it from the standpoint of the goal is not a Broadway show. It is all of the Broadway stars. So if you're a true Broadway fanatic and fan, think about the stage door in terms of being able to meet some of these fans and see them perform and do different things that, are why they are ultimately on the Broadway stage.
Mm-hmm.
Sail Across the Sun is our event. It's a long-standing event we have with Train as the host. We partner with Insomniac to do a electric dance event called EDC, which is a branch off of their brand called Electric Daisy Carnival. Chris Jericho hosts an event. So if you are a fan of wrestling, we have Chris Jericho, who also happens to be, a rocker, a part of Fozzy. So it's kind of like this mix of rock and wrestling that we do. I think I already mentioned Headbangers Boat with Lamb of God as the host. Flogging Molly is another one. One of our other non-music events, Chefs Making Waves, is going to be sailing this fall again, and that one's going to be continuing. And in fact, tomorrow we will be, and that tomorrow being the 25th, we will be announcing the extension of Chefs Making Waves with 2 more events. So I don't know when this airs, but get ready for that because that's 2 exciting ones.
Yeah, so this will air a week from tomorrow.
All right, so Chefs Making Waves will be out there. The pre-sale won't have started yet, but definitely to take a look at that one because it's going to be exciting. What else? We have a country event, Boots on the Water. That's more festival style. I think I mentioned we're working with Sublime. Sublime is going to be coming and taking over ship. Rock the Bells is a phenomenal partnership that we have with LL Cool J's brand, Rock the Bells. So it is a hip hop cruise that parlays a lot of the features and stuff, the stuff that he has going on the channel as part of his media brand.
When is that?
When is that?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be this November.
And do you know the headliners yet, or I know I can look it up, but that sounds. I haven't heard many hip hop cruises.
No, this is when we started up with them because we saw an opportunity. You've got it is sold out. I will say that, but T.I.
Oh, okay.
Jadakiss, Uncle Luke, Scarface, E40, Too Short. It's and many more. I mean, this is a stacked lineup. Jermaine Dupri, Paul Wall, Manny Fresh. It's a solid one.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's sold out. And now my experience, with charter cruises, what I call theme cruises, is that they sell out very fast. I've been on a couple where there's a line to buy tickets for the next one, while you're on the existing one, and the line wraps around the ship. I mean, it's I've done it. I've done it before, but it's a really, really loyal crowd, and they're willing to wait hours to get their tickets for the next one.
We try our best not to put stuff on sale. Well, actually, won't put stuff on sale while we're on board.
Okay.
We want you to be able to experience the event and not take away from the event that you are physically on. There is one thing that we do that is in partnership with Norwegian. It's called Cruise Next, and that allows you to. And it's one of the best deals I've ever seen, to where you put essentially a deposit down, and it can be on a 6-man event, and then you get onboard credit that you actually can use right now. So that doesn't lock you up a spot, but what we typically do is we offer, when we do go on sale, you get to be a part of our pre-sale for that. So you have the ability to kind of, I don't want to say jump ahead, but you definitely get a little preferential treatment. But that way you can focus on the event at hand right now, and then worry about, the next one when we're able to make that announcement and put that on sale.
And maybe you don't want to answer this because you don't want to alienate anyone, but what's the most popular of your cruises?
It's funny. I don't want to call anyone more popular than another one because, all of them do. I would say the majority of them do extremely well. So it's just a matter of, are we tapping into that community? And we have started to explore other when I say experiences, I'm going to call it like ships. So we do utilize primarily what we call the jewel class ships, because it works perfectly for the type of experience we're trying to put on, like in terms of being able to put people on the pool deck, and the various venues that are a part of it. But we have also started using, in fact, started using it in 2023, the Joy, which is almost double the size of the Jewel. And so certain experiences can lend itself better to that ship. And that ship does offer us, some different opportunities. I mean, there's, as you know, with the many different classes of ships that are out there, some have different things than others do. Like on the Jewel class, there is no go-kart track. There is a go-kart track on the Joy. Different restaurant options. So it allows us to expand things in a different way and think about stuff fun way. So I would say it's not that any one is more popular than the other. They're just catering to different passionate groups, and that's the beautiful thing. I think there's some that I would out there that I think most people probably would have no idea who that is, and it's a successful event because there's enough passionate fans of that to want to be a part of it. So it's not really about popularity. It's more about, are there enough passionate fans that want to do this as an experience?
Do you go on most of the sailings?
Oh, I will say I am a fan myself. There is nothing, I get really excited watching our guests and our staff and team live the experience. So you talk about, like, what fills your cup full of joy. It does. But I also have to, I've got a family and I've got to run a company. So I have to find that happy balance of being on board, and then also being home, to job at hand. But I do like to get out there and sail, because it's even if the event is not my cup of tea, they're still amazing. I take so much happiness out of seeing the smiles and the commentary, and all of it. It truly is. I'm extremely lucky and fortunate to be in the position I am.
Does your wife tend to go along?
She does. She does when she can. I actually had the joy of bringing my son and daughter have traveled before as well. They had been on like the Savannah Bananas one, but this spring, my son came with me, just him, and he got to sail on the Emo's Not Dead cruise, because he's a fan of that of that genre. And
Wow, I bet he
you know,
was just amazed.
Oh, he had a blast. He had an absolute blast.
Wow.
And he got to have a little bit of independence too. Instead of me, carting him around, like, he got to go off and explore on his own, and really just experience and enjoy the event as a fan. And that was a true, happy dad moment for me.
I bet he got to meet some of the artists.
He did. He did.
Yeah. What now, in general, when I've gone on these kinds of cruises, I would say music cruises. They've all, well, no, one was an African American cultural cruise, but it did have some music headliners on there. But anyway, when I've gone on these charter cruises, these steam cruises, in general, not all. My granddaughter went with me on one, but in general, they are adults only. Is that your cruises or not? Not really.
It all depends. So we do
Okay.
have events that are 21 and up. And then we have some that I would say actually cater to family.
Okay. Give me
And
an example of something that would cater to family.
I think, the easy one would be Savannah Bananas. And it's kind of funny. I think they cater to both. They
So
cater
for the listeners who are not familiar, I'm familiar with Savannah Bananas. Uh, tell the listeners what you're talking about.
So the Savannah Bananas are Emily and Jesse Cole created what's known as Banana Ball. So it's, I'd say you're going to liken it to something, it's going to be baseball. But it is a truly different take on, America's pastime, and they've created their own league out of it, with several teams. But the Savannah Bananas were the first team as part of that league, and it's what they created. They're based in Savannah, Georgia, and there are multiple teams to play. So on our event, the first year we did an event with them, there was a game that was played in Miami, and then we set sail with all of the players. And I mean, the players are entertainers themselves. So it was a lot of fun to be able to have them out and about and interacting with their most passionate fans. So you had families there, but they have one team called the Party Animals. So you'd say it was you had the ability for those non-families that wanted to party a little bit at night. There was that opportunity too. So that one I'd say is a family one. I'd say Moon River is a family event. I mean, it's a lot. It's a great one in terms of a music festival that allows parents that want to bring children of any age to just experience and enjoy the music. But I mean, there's quite a few. Like I said, I brought my 14-year-old son, Nemo's not dead. I think there's something for everyone on a majority of these, and I think the ones that we make 21 and up, that's for a specific reason. That's going to be one like either the content is just meant for older folks, or more mature for that matter, and try to separate out. And some, depending upon what our host or our partner that we're working with on it, they may want to say, I only want to cater to adults on this. Like, I don't want to have to worry about it. And so that happens too.
I would think the hip hop one is 21 and over.
I'll be honest, I don't think it is.
Really? Okay.
Don't quote me on that. We should probably look that up. But I don't think it is.
Say something about your passengers. We've already talked about it. Given what I know about theme cruises, there is tremendous loyalty. I'm sure that's true for you too.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, or not obviously, but our passengers our guests are here for the experience that we're creating. We have pulled them in because whatever it is, this is their thing. And what I hope they walk away with is not only did they get the best experience for the theme or the event that they had, but I hope that they also have an appreciation for how we take care of our guests. When I say we, Sixthman is the promoter, and we do that go above and beyond what a normal event would do in terms of how we create special, how we integrate, how we listen, those types of things that are truly important to the customer service side, and that build that retention. So strategy, I mean, it is simple. It's like, we feel like if we can provide, like, the barrier of entry to me is you got to provide a top-notch experience. Like, if I'm a fan of Rock the Bells and hip hop, then we need to deliver a hip hop experience, and that's going to be paramount. Where we can truly win them over and have them keep coming back is we can make them feel special and make them feel as in any other way. And that's where I think we build more loyalty than maybe some others, just because there is that extra attention that we put on hospitality. That is to me is our differentiator. So I think are there other competitors out there that can produce a top-notch experience? I do think there are. Glad they're out there doing their thing. I support them. I want to see them do well. But where I think that we put that extra focus, energy, and investment is in the hospitality side of things, and trying to make that above and beyond. Because at the end of the day, you want to feel special.
Listeners, what Jeff and Sixthman does is called experiential travel. Jeff, how is the experiential travel industry changing?
Ooh, that's a great one. I think in this, I would say this is a personal opinion, that it's expanding. I think this is one of those that there's opportunity for growth, and in this space. I think we all, as a big fan of festivals and concerts and other events that are out there, I think once you've dipped your toe in that water and you've had that, no pun intended, dip the toe in the water, but once you've had that kind of live event experience, that this is a place you can naturally graduate towards. And the opportunities are there. This isn't for everyone, and I recognize that. But I think when we look at, some of the difficulties and things, it truly is, you don't have to worry about your Uber. You don't have to worry about, potentially if I'm traveling to another city and staying in that city, you're not competing with stuff. Like, you can let yourself go in a way. And the more we do, the more we kind of spread the word, I think the opportunities become, greater for us to look at different things. And what may have not worked 10 years ago could potentially work in the next 3 to 5. That's kind of the exciting part of it. Is this is a space that is ripe with opportunity, and I think as long as we can maintain our high level and take care of our guests, the sky's the limit.
I have heard you say, Jeff, the secret to success is a profitable and still authentic community. Say some more.
I mean, we're a business. There's no way to get around it. Like, if we're not making money, if we're not making our partners money and our parent company money, then we will cease to exist. I mean, that's just, that's capitalism at its best.
Right. The profitable part is easy. What do you mean? What do you mean by still authentic?
So what I mean by still authentic is, I think, we have cracked a code a little bit in terms of being able to define efficiencies. If and guests who've sailed with us before, they see kind of what we do in terms of, we have one event go, and then we call it a turn day. So we go back to, say, Miami, and that event unloads or disembarks, and several hours later, and I say hours, a new event comes on board. And then they go to have their immersive experience. So, like the Super Bowl halftime show, to where we are completely flipping a ship from, the chefs to rock the bells. And how do we one, take those efficiencies, because are there things that we can do that both events can utilize? So, for example, like the stage, like if we're going to have that up, great. Now we don't have to take down and put up a stage, like that's already there. But I think more importantly is, while we have those efficiencies, we can't make it like a machine. Everything still has to be unique and authentic to that event. So making sure that we are keeping, staying very close to and understanding what our communities want and expect out of an event, and then being able to deliver it. And I think that's where the authenticity comes through. If it starts to feel cookie cutter, if it starts to feel rinse and repeat, then we're not going to be successful. And I mean, that's where the profitability side is finding those efficiencies. But if we're not maintaining that authenticity and how we are specifically catering to those communities, then we will cease to be profitable.
I want to talk about the future, but before I do, Jeff, Sixthman is celebrating a big milestone this year, 25 years. Congratulations. What does this anniversary mean to you? First of all, how long have you been CEO?
I took over in December of 2023.
Okay. What does this anniversary mean to you? And where do you see the company heading?
This anniversary means a lot. I think my staff will attest. We have been talking about this anniversary for over a year now. In my humble opinion, this is a major milestone. It is hard to think of companies that have lasted this long, that have continued, not just lasted, but have continued to grow and thrive. So to be here and to be able to look forward about the potential opportunities that we have ahead of us, and know that we can continue in making this business strong, and we can continue to grow, and we can continue to bring new guests into the mix and new concepts into the mix, is really exciting. But to be here in this business and live entertainment for 25 years, like that's a big deal, and I am extremely prideful to be here and be a part of it. I understand, I feel the weight of the company's made it this long, without me, like and under my stewardship. Can I make sure that I continue to have the success for this brand? So I definitely feel that weight and that pressure. But I I am so excited. I can't say enough positive things just in terms of like where I know we can go and what opportunities we have to take care of. I mean, from other ships to other, we primarily use Miami, but we've expanded and started going to Alaska. We're trying to figure out how to go back to Europe. We've done some European sailings. We're going to go do more. We started testing the waters with other ports, like sailing out of Seattle is how we did Alaska. We took our chef's event to Boston and went up the New England seaboard. So I just know there's more. And I think that's what gets me excited when I look forward to the next 25 years. But it is, I'm just extremely prideful and excited the fact that we've gone this far, and can't wait to see, where we go for the next 25.
Any special cruise to mark 25 years?
Really, it is the Rock Boat. I mean, that's the one that started it all. So that's the one that, that has hit 25 years. I mean, that too, you're talking about a festival at sea that is 25 years old. I mean, you look at just the festival landscape right now. How many festivals are 25 years old? There's not many. So I mean, it's an elite group to be a part of. So excited about that. So outside of that, like again, as a promoter, they're not here for us. They're here for 311. They're here for Train. They're here for Heather McMahon. They're here for Joe Bonamassa. And we understand that. So I think we have done and will continue to do throughout the rest of this year, kind of mini celebrations within those communities, just to, to share the fact that we are hitting 25 years. And, we've been doing more reach out and trying to actually talk more with with our friends within the industry and even outside of it, just to celebrate 25 years. But a lot of it's internal too, is just that our team feels appreciated and prideful of the fact that those of us who've been here from for 10, 15, 20 years, this is something to be excited about, because our opportunities are endless.
Let's talk about the future. In case any of my listeners are interested in checking out Sixthman, I'm sure many of them have already done so. But checking out Sixthman sooner rather than later, what do you have coming up in the rest of 26 and 27? They're probably all sold out.
They're not all sold out. A good number are. So I think we mentioned we've got Hallmark coming up. That's actually our next event that we've got going on. That one will be on the Joy. Following after that.
So that has some availability.
Nope, that's sold out.
Okay.
Flogging Molly, our event with them, the Flogging Molly Salty Dog Cruise. That one's coming. There's a few cabins left. So if that is your jam, I would definitely encourage you to jump on that one. Lamb of God presents Headbangers Boat. If metal music is your thing, there are a few cabins left in that one, but very few. So jump in if you're looking for that one. These are all the fall right now. Rock the Bell, our hip hop experience, that one is sold out. The Revivalist Other Side of Paradise this fall, that does have some cabins available. Our Chefs Making Waves event, that one is sold out. Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling, that's gonna be the 7th one we've done with Chris. That has some availability. Moon River has some availability. That's our partnership with Moon River and Drew Holcomb, and the Neighbors. Sublime Reef Madness, that's also this fall. It has some limited availability. We are working with Bachelor Nation, so Bachelor, all the Bachelor fans and the expansiveness of that community. That one is sold out, but that one's sailing this fall. Bert Kreischer, if you're a comedy fan, his Fully Loaded will be the second time we've done this event. That's got a few cabins remaining, and then going into 2027, there's more there too.
Let me interrupt. Is there a way I don't want to make work for your folks, but is there a way I could get a short list of upcoming cruises and I can put it in the show notes?
Sure.
Uh,
I'll give it to you right
cause
now. Sixthman.net/festivals. That list.
six.
Yep.
Let me sixthman.net back. Okay, all right. I'll get that from you. Okay. What about personal travel? Coming up. Anything booked?
I just got back from a family trip. We went to Flagstaff, Arizona. It was a mini family reunion, and then we did a bunch of hiking, disconnecting from devices, and just connecting with nature. And it was absolutely amazing. Got to see the Grand Canyon. My son and I hiked Humphreys Peak, which is the largest peak in Arizona. We did Cathedral Rock, Sedona. It was a beautiful time with me and my family. So I could be there with my stepfather and uncle and more. And we rented a house and it was special.
You said your son's 14, huh?
Yes, he is.
Lucky guy. Emo festival at sea at 14 and climbing hiking the Grand Canyon. Lucky guy. Uh, uh, Jeff, what's on your cruising and travel bucket list?
Oh,
Where you want to go in life that you haven't yet sampled?
I would tell you, I'd say a big one for me that I'm trying to figure out is I want Japan. I want to go over there. So whether that's personal or we can make it work. I'd love to do that. I got my first taste of South America earlier this year. My wife and I went to Peru. There's so much to explore there, but I definitely have the wanderlust. And one thing that it is great about this job and what we do is we do get to travel and we get to see amazing places. Even in my short time at Sixthman, I've seen places that I've never seen before, and it's been amazing. We got to do Alaska, going out doing. I went to Croatia with our Keeping the Blues Alive event. So there's definitely some amazing things. So I look at it as all opportunity because Norwegian sails to more ports than any other cruise line out there. So that to me is a kismet piece that if we can figure out ways to do things in other places, I want to go for it.
Yeah, music is truly global. I like to say we're in over 150 countries. This podcast, and I like to use the catch phrase: "Cruising is truly global." So is music,
It is.
and so before we let you go, I know CEOs are very very busy, but we like to ask our guests some light or fun cruise questions, and CEOs like fun too.
We do.
So, Jeff, how do you spend your me time? You're a golfer, you're a chess player, what do you do? What do you
No.
do when you're not thinking about Sixthman?
Oh, I'm always thinking about Sixthman. You know what? I like so our kind of tagline of what we do is we live loud. And that is something I take that as a professional challenge and a personal challenge. So I would say, if that's me, I'm thoroughly enjoying the World Cup. Huge fan of Spain.
Uh huh.
I'm loving what the U.S. is doing right now. I love sports, so any chance I can go see a sporting event, diehard Cubbies fan, go Cubs. So I think, before the end of the summer, I'll probably make my way up to Chicago just to get my fix for Wrigley Field. And then, outside of that, hiking and just being in nature. That's where I get grounded. And that's where I remember, I really appreciate the world that we live in, and where we're at. Skiing, that'd be my other one. If you talk about Japan, I want to ski Japan. I want to go to Japan. Everything Japan. That just sounds intriguing to me. But every year I do try to get a ski fix in because that's something fun for me too.
I expected to hear something like listening to music.
Oh, that's a given. That's a
That's a good.
that's a
So,
given.
what's your favorite genre when you're home alone?
Oh, Well, that's a very difficult question. I don't have, I mean, I would say I'm a hip hop head true and through, but
Okay.
I listen to absolutely everything. And I know that's a cop out answer, but it is a true answer. If you looked at just my record collection alone, I mean, you'll find things in there from you know, Jurassic 5 and more to Rolling Stones to Dizzy Gillespie to some obscure world music. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it from across the board. It truly does not matter. From Willie Nelson to Prince, everything in between. I love new stuff. I'm a huge fan of some EDM music as well. I love what Odessa, Grizz, and Rufus De Solomenius are doing. So I can honestly say what I do. Actually, it's a passion, but I actually try to stay connected to what's up and coming. And
Yep.
I do have two resources of my children that try to help shape that piece a little bit too. But I'm still a student of the game and a passionate, avid music consumer.
So I heard you say, you're a hip hop guy. Are you going on Rock the Bells?
Yes, I am this year. Yep.
Man, if I could be a fly in your luggage for that cruise. um, what's your favorite cruise drink and cruise food?
Ooh, good call. I was introduced to this on my first sailing, and I do find it quite refreshing. I'm primarily a bourbon drinker. You put,
Uh-huh.
bourbon on the rocks is my go-to typically, but I will say on a cruise, like how some people like Mai Tais and things like that, an Aperol spritz, it's a
Okay.
very refreshing drink.
Yep. Yep. All right. What did you say? Food?
Oh,
What
food.
about?
Oof. Good call. Anything seafood? I mean, it's
Seafood?
kind of
Okay.
that natural thing. Like I'm in the ocean, like I feel like I should be eating seafood.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Where are you most gratified for having visited?
Most gratified for having visited. Oof, that's a great one. It's a really great one. I mean, this year alone had three that just blew me away. So I mean, Machu Picchu had been a dream of mine for
Oh,
so long.
yes.
So that one, just to know that people built that is insane. The sheer majesty of I was in Whistler, I skied Whistler this year. That blew me away from like from an exercise slash skiing standpoint. It was truly amazing. And then just my most recent trip, the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
You see pictures, you watch videos, but when you're sitting on the edge of that hole or canyon, like you feel small in every which way. And that was a treat and a lot. And then being able to hike it with my kids and be there with my family was special.
Jeff, last question, and that will let you get back to CEOing. uh, what's your most wonderful or memorable or funniest or even most embarrassing six-man story?
Oh, wow. Memorable, funniest, embarrassing six-man story.
Doesn't have to be all of the above, but
Uh-huh.
what's the story that you'll be telling your grandkids when you about your days at Six Man?
Oh, can I get back to you on that one?
So many of them,
So
huh?
many, so many. I try to be humble, so I know I embarrass myself quite often in what I do. So I mean, there's probably a ton of times where I'm embarrassing myself. Um, I think
Do you ever introduce the artists, or is that someone
that's
else?
typically someone else.
Okay, okay.
I'd say the most prideful, or and I don't want to call it humbling, but most prideful part of it is we do this thing on events, not every event, but with rock boats when we do it on, we've done it on other ones where we do this thing called Ask Six Man, where we sit up in front of like key stakeholders or key people that are part of the event. We'll sit on stage and we will allow the guests to ask us any question. And for me, that is a truly prideful place to be, to have the ability to answer questions and to listen more than anything else to some of the feedback and stuff that people are willing to give in person and share their stories of why they do what they, why they are here with us and the impact that we've made on them. That for me is something I truly enjoy doing and being a part of, and is humbling in a way that it is a constant reminder of, this isn't for me. This isn't for Sixthman. It's not for NCL. This is for them. This is for the guests. And having that constant reminder of why we do what we do and who it is for, is is great. And we carry this practice honestly with our staff. So every multiple times a year, myself and my leadership team, we will sit on stage and we will allow our staff to ask questions. Any question, answer them to the best of our ability and be as transparent as possible. And I think that's a piece of it that they may not always like the answer, but I think it provides that open line of communication. It gives us the ability to listen and hopefully make an impact.
Thank you. Jeff, it has been great talking to you. Cruising is my passion, and theme cruising is my favorite aspect of cruising. My listeners have heard me say many, many times, put a theme cruise or charter cruise or an experiential cruise on your bucket list. There's nothing like it. Thank you, Jeff, so much for coming on the Joy of Cruising podcast and providing listeners with a senior management perspective of a great topic. All the best to you and Sixthman in your future endeavors. And as I like to say, we'll see you on the ocean.
Thank you, Paul.
The Joy of Cruising and Cruising Interrupted, each $16.99 plus shipping, and new release, The Joy of Cruising Again for $18.99, can be ordered at the link on thejoyofcruisingpodcast.com. For each of the three books, use the discount code Joy of Cruising Podcast and get $4 off. The Joy of Cruising books are also available at Amazon. Order the ebook at Amazon or your favorite online retailer. Stay in touch by joining the Joy of Cruising Podcast Facebook group or following the Joy of Cruising Podcast on Instagram. We're constantly adding new shows. Please leave a review and tell a friend about us. We hope you enjoyed this brief escape to the ocean. See you next week.